going on, Jerome's. So there's no real way to put this that isn't awkward. And it's something that the Vikings were going to have to address at a certain point. But with the tragic death of Kyrie Jackson, the Vikings would need to add a player to the 90-man roster, as well as they needed some depth at cornerback. And the Vikings did that by adding a familiar face, familiar name. Duke Shelley is indeed back in the purple, and Duke strongly hinted at a reunion on Instagram over the weekend. And Duke, Duke's interesting because he was part of the 2022 Vikings, the Donashell defense, which was not good at all. But Duke was a shining light, and the Vikings, for whatever reason, didn't bring him back last year, but yeah, he is now back with the Vikings. So let's talk about Duke Shelley today. Background, played his college ball at Kansas State. That's right. He's 27 years young. He's 5'9", $176. Now, given his size, you would think that he could play in the slot. He is a true blue outside press man, cornerback, and he is tough, he is aggressive, he is feisty, and he'll get after things, man. Like we said, a 6th-round pick in 2019 by the Bears. Played a couple seasons in Chicago. Then Matt Eberflus, the IKEA toilet, came in, but he was waived during the 2022 season. Vikings picked him up, and Shelley played phenomenal on that Donashell defense. Played 470 defensive snaps for the Vikes, 86.4 PFF coverage grade, 3rd in the league. Not on the team, in the league. 84.5 PFF man coverage grade, 2nd in the league, behind only Sauce Gardner. Maybe you heard of him. 11 passes broken up, 1 interception, 59.6 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is good. Which is pretty dang good, right? But like we said, the Vikings, for whatever reason, didn't bring him back. Apparently, they were lowballing him. Ultimately signed with the Raiders, but then was let go by the Raiders. Then ended up playing with the Rams last season in 11 games and was a free agent now until the Vikings brought him back. And Duke, Duke's an interesting name because even though he didn't have any crossover with Flores, he is the type of cornerback that Flores does love. On the outside, feisty, will get after things, belt buckle to belt buckle with the receiver, and I think that he would be a shot in the arm in the Vikings cornerback room because you got Murph, you got Shaq Griffin, the two vets. I think their roles are pretty firmly established, but at the other cornerback spot, whether it's Evans, Blackman, or Shelley, maybe McLaughlin, it's going to be a competition. And like we said, Shelley can play left or right cornerback. They're probably going to keep Shaq Griffin at left cornerback, where he was during OTAs and where he's been comfortable at throughout his career. So that right cornerback spot is up for grabs. And I like Blackman and Shelley are sort of cut from the same cloth, a little bit undersized, but super feisty, get after type cornerbacks. But it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But like I said, I love Duke Shelley, man. I would have preferred they brought him back last year, but better late than never. And I do think that Duke is gonna again. He's the only Dookie besides Coach K that's actually tolerable, and maybe Grant Hill. But that's it. That's it, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Minnesota Vikings brought back cornerback Duke Shelley. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.